Mirabelle believed in soft mornings. She woke before the sun, brewed vanilla coffee, and opened the balcony doors of her modest but stylish apartment in Inglewood, letting the California breeze lift the curtains. On her kitchen island sat a neat stack of client briefs, UX design prototypes for a health tech startup that had her name on the roadmap. She had worked too hard to be here. Scholarships, late nights, a portfolio built on grit and curiosity. Brianna burst through the door like a summer song. "Girl, I brought croissants and gossip," she sang, dropping a pink pastry box and her designer tote on the counter. Brianna always glowed, honey-brown skin, perfect lashes, a charm that could open velvet ropes. They'd been inseparable since sophomore year at CSU Long Beach. Heartbreaks, roommate drama, first paychecks, they took it all together. Mirabelle smiled. "You're late." "Fashionably," Brianna said, pecking her cheek. "And I brought the almond ones you like." They ate on the balcony, feet tucked under chairs, the city waking below. A text pinged Mirabelle's phone. "Richie, Morning Star. Big pitch today. I'm proud of you." She felt that familiar warmth bloom in her chest. Brianna's eyes flicked to the screen and back to Mirabelle's face, bright with practiced excitement. "How's Prince Charming?" "He's still sending voice notes like he's narrating a romance novel." Mirabelle laughed, then softened. "He makes space for me. I've never had that." Brianna lifted her croissant. "To men who make space." She sipped. "I booked us Monty Python Saturday, okay? I got us on the list at Slate in West Hollywood. You need a break." Mirabelle hesitated. Her sprint deadline loomed. "I'll try." Brianna's smile faltered for a flicker. "Try." Mirabelle reached across, squeezed her hand. "I'll be there." Brianna's smile brightened again. But as the breeze shifted the curtain's shadow, something in her gaze cooled, so quickly Mirabelle missed it. Sunshine has two faces, and one of them doesn't warn before it burns. Richie loved daylight. He said love should survive the sun, not just the moon. He was a senior project manager at a clean energy firm in Culver City. Tailored suits, gentle baritone, the kind of steady presence that turned chaos into a plan. Mirabelle met him at a community tech mixer where reps from local companies scouted talent. He approached her table, read her case study on accessible onboarding flows, and said, "You think like a bridge builder." "What's that supposed to mean?" she teased. "That you make it easier for people to cross from "I don't get it" to "I belong here." That's rare. Months later, they moved in sync. Morning runs on the Strand, midweek tacos, Friday night jazz. He sent flowers to her office when she shipped a major redesign. He introduced her to his foster kid mentee, Zay, and insisted they cheer at his JV game even when traffic was a mess. Love, with Richie, felt like wide daylight and clear roads. One evening, Mirabelle and Brianna got dressed for Slate. Richie stopped by, suit still crisp from a board meeting. "You're both stunning," he said, kissing Mirabelle's forehead. "Text me when you get home." Brianna's eyes lingered on him like the last slice of cake at a party. "Mirabelle, if you don't marry that man, I will." She laughed as if it were a joke. Richie chuckled politely. "Good night, Brie." When he left, Brianna leaned in the mirror, applying gloss. "He's so present," she murmured. "Like he sees you. Really sees you." "That's all I ever wanted," Mirabelle said. "To be seen and safe." Brianna's smile thinned. "Must be nice." At Slate, under blue lights and bass lines, they danced until the room felt soft. A photographer took their picture. Brianna pulled Mirabelle close, jaw against her temple, nails grazing her shoulder. "No one will ever replace me," Brianna whispered over the music. Mirabelle thought it was sisterhood. She didn't hear the promise braided into the words. The week the health tech app announced a pilot with a major hospital, Mirabelle stayed late, polishing edge cases. Richie brought soup and sat quietly while she worked, then massaged her hands during a break. "You deserve soft things," he said, pressing a kiss to her knuckles. Brianna texted less. When she did, it was edges of sarcasm. "Busy with Mr. Perfect. Or some of us have to grind without a man bringing soup." Mirabelle typed and erased responses. They had always been honest. Now every sentence felt like a trap. Saturday, Mirabelle invited Brianna to a day spa as a thank you. Brianna accepted, arriving in oversized sunglasses. Inside the eucalyptus steam, they rested on tiled benches. "You've changed," Brianna said, voice echoing. "You're always elsewhere." "I'm balancing," Mirabelle said carefully. "Work is intense." "And Richie, Brianna repeated, as if tasting something bitter. "What does he even see in you?" Mirabelle blinked. "Excuse me." Brianna's face softened instantly. "I mean, what's his love language?" "Gifts. Words. Like, what do you give him?" "I want that. For myself. Someday." Mirabelle nodded slowly. "I give him respect. Joy. Priority." Brianna laughed once. "Lucky you." That night, while Mirabelle FaceTimed Richie, Brianna posted an Instagram story from a rooftop party Mirabelle hadn't known about. Brianna singing along to a love song, a caption, "Some people always get what I want." Mirabelle swiped away. She told herself not to read into it. 2 days later, Brianna appeared at Mirabelle's door with a bottle of wine and tears. "I messed up," she sobbed. "I called my ex, and it was a disaster. Can I crash?" "Of course," Mirabelle said, pulling her in. They ate noodles on the floor. After showers and mascara-streaked laughter, Brianna insisted on swapping phones to add a playlist. "You're boring," she teased, scrolling. "No scandal." Mirabelle laughed, tossing a pillow. Somewhere between playlists and pillows, Brianna learned Mirabelle's phone passcode. Somewhere between mascara and mercy, a hairline crack split something sacred. The storm arrived on a Tuesday at 6:12 a.m. Mirabelle's phone buzzed with a message request from a burner account. "Pay $5,000 by tonight or your nudes go to your team, your family, and at your company." Attached was a blurred thumbnail that made her stomach drop. She recognized the background, her bedroom wall art. The cheeky message she'd once sent to Richie months ago when they were long distance for a week, a private moment wrapped in trust. Her hands shook. She dialed Richie. He picked up on the second ring. "Morning Star." Her voice was a whisper scraped raw. "Someone has my photo. They're threatening to post it." Silence. Then, "I'm coming over." Brianna texted at 6:20 a.m. "You up?" Then, "Everything okay?" Her timing felt too precise. Mirabelle swallowed suspicion. She couldn't afford paranoia. Richie arrived with his laptop and a face set to war. "We document everything," he said. "We don't pay. We alert your company's security team and HR proactively. We report to the platform and possibly the police. Revenge porn is illegal in California." Tears blurred her vision. "I'm so embarrassed." He cupped her face. "You did nothing wrong. Someone violated you. That shame isn't yours." At 8:03 a.m., another message, 12 hours. Tick-tock. Mirabelle's head throbbed. She texted Brianna, "I need you." Brianna arrived in athleisure and faux concern, hugging too tightly, eyes scanning the room. "What happened?" she asked, wide-eyed. Mirabelle told her, voice trembling. Brianna's face arranged itself into shock. "Oh my God. Who would do that?" "Richie, do something." "We're doing everything," Richie said evenly, his attention on an email to legal counsel. "We'll also lock down Mirabelle's cloud and change her passwords." Brianna's jaw ticked, so brief you might miss it. "You should pay," she said softly, touching Mirabelle's arm. "Just to make it go away." "No," Richie said. "Paying feeds the monster." Brianna's hand stilled. "Monsters don't starve. They hunt." Mirabelle stared at her friend, a chill walking her spine. Storms don't just arrive, they announce themselves in pressure, in the way the air tastes like metal. She didn't yet know the lightning carried Brianna's name. By noon, Mirabelle had looped in her manager and HR. They were compassionate and professional, promising to support and to keep everything confidential. Richie set up two-factor authentication, froze credit, and scheduled a consult with a cyber investigator in case the threats escalated. At 4:17 p.m., a third message. Final warning. Last chance. Mirabelle's hands hovered over the keyboard. What if? Richie kissed her temple. No, at 5:02 p.m., the first ping hit like a bullet. Twitter mention at Mirabelle UX. Then another. Then 20. Someone had posted the photo, cropped, watermarked with a disgusting handle. Mirabelle's lungs forgot how to work. She fell into a chair, the world narrowing to a tunnel. Brianna gasped theatrically. No, no, no. Richie moved with terrifying calm. He filed takedowns, screenshot evidence, flagged the account, and messaged his lawyer. Breathe, baby, he murmured, kneeling before her, hands firm around hers. Look at me. Tears streaked hot and helpless. Everyone will see. My mom. My team. Look at me, he repeated, eyes steady as anchors. I love you. I'm not going anywhere. Her phone vibrated, DMs, some cruel, some supportive. Her manager texted, We're with you. Take the rest of the week off. We'll handle internal comms. I'm so sorry. Brianna paced, hands in her hair. This is horrifying. Who would hate you like this? Mirabelle's grief turned, just for a second, into a blade. Her memory flashed, Brianna's too precise timing, the push to pay, the way her hand tensed when Richie refused. The night with the phones. The caption. Some people always get what I want. Bree, Mirabelle said quietly, did you ever have my phone when I was in the shower that night? Brianna froze. A heartbeat. Then she laughed too loud. Are you serious? You think I did this? I didn't say that, Mirabelle whispered, but the wind had changed. She could hear it whistling through the gap between what they were and what they seemed. Richie stood. His gaze slid to Brianna, polite but steel. Mirabelle's not accusing you. We're gathering facts. Brianna blinked rapidly, tears rising like an actor hitting her cue. I can't believe you'd even, after everything. She snatched her bag. I have a call. I'll check in later. She left too fast, perfume hanging in the doorway like a lie that smells expensive. Richie pulled Mirabelle into his arms. She sobbed into his chest, the ache beating in waves. I want to disappear. You don't have to, he said, voice low and certain. We will fight. We will make them delete it. We will hold them accountable. And I will stand by you in every room, every comment section, every courtroom if it comes to that. You hear me? Her breath steadied against his heartbeat. I hear you. Outside, the city lights blinked on one by one. Inside, Mirabelle's phone kept buzzing, but one vibration cut different. It was her cyber investigator contact, texting. Got a lead on the IP source. You'll want to see this. The storm had clicked. The lightning was about to name its owner. The cyber investigator, a compact woman with tired eyes and a calm voice, introduced herself on Zoom as Kendra Shaw. I used to work platform trust and safety, she said. I know how these snakes move. Kendra shared her screen. A spreadsheet glowed with timestamps, URLs, and a column labeled Origin, Proxy Bypassed. She zoomed in on a row. The account that posted the photo used 2 VPNs. Sloppy, though. One failure pinged a local IP in North Hollywood. Mirabelle gripped Richie's hand. Can we get a name? Not yet. But I can give you the internet service provider and the street. With a subpoena, law enforcement can request subscriber info. Also, Kendra clicked to another tab. The account logged in from a second device the morning of the post. No VPN that time. The device time zone matches Pacific. The browser fingerprint. That's nearly unique. I've correlated it with an Instagram account that recently viewed your stories obsessively. Mirabelle's mouth dried. Whose? Kendra sighed. The handle is private, but it follows less than 100 people, mostly club promoters, and you. She paused. And Brianna A. at Briglam. Richie's jaw tightened. Correlation isn't guilt. Agreed, Kendra said. But this is good probable cause. Meanwhile, I filed emergency takedowns with multiple platforms. Some copies are down already. Mirabelle's phone buzzed, her manager again. HR is ready if you need time off longer. She typed thanks with mechanical fingers. After the call, Richie pulled her close. Whatever this says tomorrow, I'm here. Mirabelle nodded, anger rising like a slow tide. If it's her, she didn't just post a photo. She tried to erase my life. Richie stroked her back. Then we give her something she can't delete. Consequences. That night, Mirabelle opened an old album. Photos of birthdays, bad wigs, shared fries. Brianna's laughter frozen in pixels that felt like lies. Mirabelle whispered to the dark, "If it's you, I will not beg you to love me. I will teach you to respect me." Outside, a siren moaned down La Brea. Inside, Mirabelle drafted a list titled, "What I Control." It had 3 lines. My truth. My plan. My future. Morning sunlight didn't bring relief, only clarity. Mirabelle and Richie drove to the LAPD cybercrimes desk with a neatly organized binder. Screen grabs, timestamps, Kendra's preliminary report, and a written statement. The officer on duty, Detective Ramos, listened without interruption. California law covers this, Ramos said, tapping the statute number on a laminated cheat sheet. Distribution of intimate images without consent is a crime. We'll open a case. It won't be instant, but we'll begin subpoenas for the IP and the account. Mirabelle exhaled. Not peace, just the first brick of it. Back home, Richie brewed tea. Next, talk to an attorney for a civil suit. Damages. Injunctions. Mirabelle nodded. And what about the social part? My name is trending in small circles. I can't hide. Then we answer with your voice, Richie said. Short, dignified. No details. Just ownership. He drafted a statement with her. I was targeted by a non-consensual image leak. It is a crime. I'm working with authorities. I appreciate privacy and support. If you've shared it, please delete it. They posted from Mirabelle's accounts. Support poured in, co-workers, cousins, a high school teacher, women she barely knew sharing, me too. Late afternoon, Kendra texted, update. The second device fingerprint matches a phone that logged into it Briglam within 10 minutes of the burner login. That's not proof, but it's a thread. Be careful what you say to her until Ramos gets subscriber info. As if summoned, Brianna called. Mirabelle let it ring, then answered. Babe, I am sick to my stomach, Brianna said, voice small. I've been praying. I posted a black screen for you. This is devastating. Thank you, Mirabelle said carefully. I'll update you after I talk to the detective. A beat of silence. Detective. Brianna echoed. Isn't that a little much? Revenge porn is illegal, Mirabelle replied. The law is the minimum. Brianna swallowed. Right. Of course. After they hung up, Richie rubbed his beard. She's fishing. Mirabelle stared at her phone, pulse steadying into resolve. Let her fish. I'm setting the hook. She opened notes and created a new file. The trap. Bullet 1. Invite Brianna to a healing talk in a neutral spot. Record. Watch her story. Bullet 2. If she slips, hand that to Ramos. Bullet 3. If she doesn't, proceed with Plan B. She didn't write Plan B down. She didn't have to. Mirabelle chose a busy cafe in West Adams. Afternoon crowd, smartphones everywhere, witnesses without trying. She wore a simple sweater, hair in a bun. Richie sat 2 blocks away with Kendra on a 3-way call, audio recorder ready. Brianna arrived overdressed in a white blazer and gold hoops, the picture of concerned glamour. She hugged the air around Mirabelle. You look good, she said, eyes scanning for damage. I'm breathing, Mirabelle said. Thank you for coming. They sat. Mirabelle tapped her phone. The voice memo silently rolled. I wanted to say this to your face, Mirabelle began. A friend would never blame me for being victimized. A friend would not tell me to pay a criminal. A friend would not ask me what my boyfriend sees in me. Brianna's smile held. I was scared. People do desperate things. Mirabelle tilted her head. People you know? Brianna's lashes fluttered. I know people who could help you pull the content down. You have to know the right DMs. Mirabelle studied her. The day it leaked, you were with me. Then you left. Where did you go? Work call, Brianna said. Her nails clicked on the ceramic cup. Mirabelle, I hate that you're doing this. You're making me feel like what? Mirabelle asked softly. Like you touched something that was mine? Brianna blinked. Mine? What? Richie, Mirabelle said, tasting the name on Brianna's face like testing acid on metal. Do you want him? Brianna inhaled sharply, then laughed. Your insecurity is showing. Mirabelle leaned in. Then hear me clearly. Whoever did this thought they could break me and make him leave. He didn't. He's here. I'm here. The law is here. That person made 3 mistakes. They underestimated my patience, my memory, and my receipts. Brianna's mask flickered. Receipts, she whispered. Mirabelle let the silence stretch. In her earpiece, Kendra's voice was a faint hum. Hold. Let her talk. Brianna smoothed her blazer. If I were you, I'd focus on healing, not witch hunts. People already forgot. They haven't, Mirabelle said. And I don't forget, Bree. Brianna stood too fast. You're toxic right now. She grabbed her bag and left, shoulder stiff, perfume like static. Mirabelle exhaled, hands shaking after the stillness. The memo glowed 18 minutes and 37 seconds. Richie arrived from the corner. You okay? She didn't confess, Mirabelle said. But she cracked. Kendra texted a minute later. Detective Ramos just called me. Subpoena came back fast. Emergency process. The ISP subscriber on the North Hollywood IP is Brianna A. L. registered at her condo. Ramos wants you two to come in tomorrow. Mirabelle looked at Richie. We set the hook. And tomorrow, Richie said, eyes steady, we reel. Detective Ramos slid the subpoena response across the table. Here's what we have, he said. The burner account logged in from 2 IPs. One resolves to a North Hollywood address registered to Brianna A. Lennox. The other, a mobile network tower near the same area. Combined with timestamps and the device fingerprint correlation that Ms. Shaw provided, we have enough for a search warrant. Mirabelle's throat tightened. So it's official. Alleged, Ramos corrected gently. We'll execute the warrant for devices and cloud accounts. Given the nature of the offense, we'll prioritize. Richie squeezed Mirabelle's knee under the table. What's our role today? Provide any additional communications, Ramos said. And Ms. Hudson, consider a civil protective order. If this is who we think, she may escalate when confronted. On the way out, Mirabelle stopped in the hallway, palms against cool cinder block. Why, Bree? She whispered. That afternoon, as if the universe had a sense of timing, Brianna posted an Instagram carousel. Photos at a rooftop brunch, a caption about energy vampires, and protecting your peace. The third slide was a quote. Sometimes the people closest to you are the ones who hate you most. Comments overflowed with heart emojis and preach. Mirabelle felt the heat rise, then cool. She sent the post to Ramos. Documented. At dusk, a text from an unknown number. You should have paid. A minute later, another. He'll leave eventually. They always do. Then, oddly, a final message. You were supposed to be mine. Mirabelle's skin prickled. She forwarded the messages to Ramos and Kendra. Kendra replied, same device fingerprint as the burner. Idiot didn't switch keyboards. This helps. Richie read the last message twice. That's the tell, he said. It was never just about hurting you. It was about possessing what you had. Mirabelle looked at the skyline. She thought love was a trophy. She forgot love is a home. And I built mine. That night, Mirabelle drafted a press of her own, not for the public, but for the rooms that mattered, HR, her team, her family. She wrote with clean lines and no melodrama, naming the crime, the case number, and her boundaries. She hit send. One by one, replies landed. We've got your back. Proud of your strength. What do you need? When her mother called, voice trembling, Mirabelle said, Mama, I'm okay. Richie is here. Her mother sighed. Then that girl was never your friend. Let God be God, but let the law do its work. Mirabelle smiled wetly. Both, Mama. Both. 2 days later, the search warrant rolled. Ramos updated them. We seized a laptop and phone from Ms. Lennox's condo. Initial previews show the burner credentials saved in a Notes app. There's also a folder with your name, Ms. Hudson, screenshots, drafts, and edits of the photo. We'll continue forensic analysis. In the meantime, Ms. Lennox has been detained for questioning. Mirabelle closed her eyes. Relief didn't taste sweet. It tasted like metal, like keys turning in the right lock. She won't go down easy, Kendra warned on speaker. She'll spin. She'll cry. She'll say it was a hack, a prank, a shared Wi-Fi, an ex-boyfriend using her devices. Let her, Mirabelle said. I'm not here for her story. I'm here for my life. That's my girl, Richie murmured. They met with a civil attorney, Ms. Chen, who moved like a blade. Criminal case will take its course, she said. On the civil side, we file for a restraining order, a temporary restraining order prohibiting further distribution, and a civil suit for damages, emotional distress, reputational harm, lost wages if any, punitive damages given the malicious intent. Do it, Mirabelle said. All of it. Ms. Chen nodded. We'll also send litigation hold letters to any platforms and individuals who share the content after notice, preserving evidence. That evening, Mirabelle recorded a short video statement with Richie behind the camera. No tears, no tremble, just a steady gaze. To anyone who shared my image, you helped a crime, she said. To anyone who stood with me, thank you. To anyone going through this, it is not your shame. It is their crime. They posted. The comments were a flood of solidarity and careful rage. Brianna's camp responded with a DM from an attorney, a cease and desist for alleged defamation. Ms. Chen answered with a smile you could hear over email. Please see attached, criminal case number, warrant inventory, and preliminary forensic log. The DM went quiet. Mirabelle crafted the revenge she could live with, lawful, surgical, devastating. She didn't need to drag Brianna's name online. She would drag it through courtrooms and conference rooms, through the networks where reputations actually live. She emailed a discreet summary to 3 PR agencies and 2 event hosts who regularly booked Brianna as an influencer MC, attaching the public case number and the legal definition of the offense. No commentary. Just facts. We advise caution booking this talent while a criminal investigation is ongoing. By midnight, 2 posted new booking guidelines. We do not platform individuals under investigation for image-based abuse. They didn't name her. They didn't have to. Mirabelle lay back against Richie's shoulder, the apartment finally quiet. First blood, she said softly, with clean hands. Richie kissed her hair. Mirabelle stared at the ceiling. Next, I want my power back in the places she tried to poison. My friendships, my work, my faith in myself. And after that? Richie asked. Mirabelle's eyes cooled with purpose. After that, I want her to feel what she wanted me to feel, alone. Not forever, not ruined, but accountable and alone long enough to learn. Her phone lit with a final text for the night. Kendra, final note, there's a draft email on Brianna's laptop addressed to Richie. Subject line, she's not who you think. Time-stamped 2 days before the leak. Mirabelle's jaw set. Detective Ramos handed Mirabelle a printed sheet sealed in an evidence sleeve. The draft email found on Brianna Lennox's laptop, he said. It was never sent. But it says everything. Mirabelle's hands trembled as she read. Richie, you think she's perfect, but you don't know her like I do. She flirts with everyone when you're not around. She pretends to be strong, but she's insecure and controlling. You deserve someone who can match your ambition, not someone who hides behind her trauma. I could make you happier than she ever will." It ended mid-sentence, like she'd hesitated before pressing send. Mirabelle placed the letter down slowly. She really wanted him, she whispered. Not just the man, my peace. Ramos nodded. It's consistent with motive, jealousy, rejection, revenge. Richie's jaw flexed. I never gave her the chance to think she could have me. Not once. I know, Mirabelle said. But she believed I was her obstacle, not her friend. As they left the precinct, paparazzi-like local reporters lingered near the stairs. Word of the arrest warrant had leaked through court filings. Flashbulbs popped. Mirabelle, did your best friend leak your photos? Is Richie staying with you? Richie shielded her with his coat. No comment, he said firmly. Back in the car, Mirabelle breathed shallowly. I don't want to be their headline. Richie took her hand. Then we write your own story, baby. You own every word from here. That night, Mirabelle opened her blog, one she hadn't touched in years, and began typing. Sometimes the knife comes from the hand that once held yours. But scars are proof you survived the cut. She hit publish. Within an hour, thousands of women shared it. Her voice had turned pain into power. Brianna's silence online that night was louder than any denial. 3 weeks later, State of California versus Brianna A. Lennox reached arraignment. The courthouse buzzed with murmurs, bloggers pretending to be journalists, and half the influencer scene pretending to be concerned. Mirabelle sat beside her attorney, Ms. Chen, wearing a gray suit and calm she'd practiced for days. Brianna entered in a beige trench coat, flanked by her lawyer. Her eyes darted toward Mirabelle, then away. The judge read the charge, non-consensual distribution of intimate images, Penal Code 647, J. 4, felony. Ms. Lennox, how do you plead? Not guilty, Brianna whispered. Mirabelle exhaled, unsurprised. As arguments began, Ms. Chen outlined the evidence. Digital forensics, timestamps, messages, IP logs, and the unsigned email. This was not a hack. This was a personal betrayal designed to destroy Ms. Hudson's reputation and relationship. Brianna's defense painted a picture of shared Wi-Fi and multiple roommates. But the evidence didn't blink. Kendra's forensic report stood tall, each digital footprint a fingerprint Brianna couldn't wash off. During recess, Brianna approached the hallway water fountain. Mirabelle, walking by, stopped. You could have apologized, Mirabelle said softly. Brianna's mascara smudged. Would it change anything? No, Mirabelle replied. But it would have saved what little soul you have left. For the first time, Brianna's eyes brimmed with something real, shame, or the loss of her mirror. You took everything from me, Brianna hissed. Mirabelle tilted her head. No. You threw everything away trying to take mine. She walked away. Behind her, a bailiff called court back into session. Outside, Richie waited with open arms. How was she? Smaller, Mirabelle said. Like a shadow that forgot its light. The internet turned fast. Blogs posted screenshots of court filings, photos of Brianna entering court in designer shades, captions reading #friendorfoe. Brands dropped her within days. The event hosts who once fought for her attendance now ghosted her messages. A former colleague posted, I worked with Brie. She was never the victim she claimed to be. Karma didn't need applause. It just needed time. Mirabelle focused on recovery. Therapy sessions helped her sleep again. She returned to work part-time, where co-workers greeted her with quiet admiration instead of pity. Her boss said, your comeback presentation next month. Name it yourself. She smiled. Phoenix. At home, Richie cooked pasta, teasing her about her new short haircut. You cut your hair and grew wings, he said. She laughed. It feels lighter, like I finally dropped her off my shoulders. But late one evening, she received a message from an unknown number. You won. I hope it was worth it. Mirabelle stared at the words, realizing it was Brianna's voice. She typed back only one line. It wasn't about winning. It was about surviving what you tried to destroy. Then she blocked the number forever. That night, Mirabelle and Richie sat on the balcony, wine glasses clinking under the California stars. You think she'll ever change? Richie asked. Maybe, Mirabelle said. But that's not my assignment. Mine is healing. Richie pulled her close. And loving you through it. Mirabelle smiled. Then we're both doing our jobs. 2 months later, court reconvened for sentencing. The judge's tone was grave. Ms. Lennox, your actions inflicted severe emotional and reputational harm. You weaponized intimacy and trust. The court sentences you to 6 months in county jail, 3 years probation, mandatory therapy, and digital ethics rehabilitation. Brianna broke down, sobbing into trembling hands. Her lawyer rubbed her back, but the courtroom was cold. Mirabelle felt no glee, only closure. After court, Brianna's mother approached her, an older woman in a church hat, tears spilling. I'm so sorry for what my daughter did, she whispered. She lost her way. Mirabelle touched her hand gently. We all lose our way sometimes. I pray she finds hers again. As Brianna was led away in handcuffs, their eyes met one last time. There was no anger now, just the echo of what friendship once was and the ruin of what jealousy made it. Outside, journalists shouted questions, flashes bursting. Mirabelle stopped at the top of the courthouse steps, facing the crowd. She spoke clearly, justice isn't revenge. It's balance. Today, I got mine. Then she turned and walked down, Richie's arms steady around her waist. That evening, her story trended again, but this time under a new hashtag, #MirabelleRises. She received messages from women worldwide, survivors, professionals, even teenagers, thanking her for standing tall. Her pain had become a blueprint for courage. She whispered into the quiet, God, if this was my battle to fight, I'm glad it ended in light. A year later, Mirabelle stood on a small stage at a Women in Tech conference in San Francisco. Her hair was longer now, her confidence brighter. Behind her, the screen displayed her talk's title, Digital Healing, Reclaiming Identity After Online Betrayal. She told her story without names, without venom, just truth. The audience leaned in, some crying silently, others nodding in understanding. Forgiveness, she said, isn't pretending the knife didn't cut you. It's deciding you'll no longer let the wound define you. After the applause, she met young women who said her courage saved them from silence. Back in Los Angeles, Richie surprised her with a picnic at the beach, the same spot where they had their first date. He handed her a small velvet box. Mirabelle Hudson, he said, kneeling in the sand, we've walked through fire and came out shining. Will you marry me? Tears glistened down her cheeks. Yes, she whispered. As he slipped the ring on her finger, the waves clapped like witnesses. She leaned her head on his shoulder. You know what's crazy, she said softly. If Brianna hadn't done what she did, I might never have known how strong I was, or how real this love could be. Richie kissed her forehead. Sometimes betrayal is the storm that washes fake friends away so the right ones can grow. They watched the sunset melt into the Pacific, hands intertwined. In her heart, Mirabelle felt peace, not the fragile kind that breaks under gossip, but the kind that stands like truth after the noise fades. She opened her phone one last time, deleted the folder labeled the case, and whispered, I'm free. Above them, gulls soared against a golden sky. The past was done. The light had returned. Create image.